Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new channel and a brand new video. We are Full-Time Whistle. There is me, Joe, and I have Kieran with me today.
Hello.
So this channel used to be a gaming channel, but if you're wondering who on earth are these people I've subscribed to, we are now known as Full-Time Whistle. So we are going to be a podcast / video making on all the latest football news, gossip, transfers, absolutely anything to do with football. So we're going to try and keep you guys up to date with all the latest football news, information, anything that is going to be coming, and it is all going to be coming your way. So we have a few topics we're going to talk about in this video. So we've got the Premier League restart, the transfer window extended, and how League 1 and 2 clubs are going to struggle in this doomed time. What is the coronavirus? Probably been demonetized straight away by saying COVID-19, but who cares? Right, so first thing we are going to talk about, Kaz, is the Premier League restart. And a bit of context here. I put a bet on with Kieran at the start of all this, saying the Premier League will be null and void. And I've been proven wrong.
Yeah, and no one's seen any money from that bet.
Well,
which is the issue, I think, that you kind of went into this all kind of confident that it would all be null and voided. That was the end of the Premier League and the football season.
I was very confident. I honestly couldn't see the Premier League restarting, and that's another reason to why we started this YouTube channel back up, because I haven't got £10 to give you. So
earn your money back.
Hopefully this brings in the monetization, even though we haven't got 1,000 subs or we haven't got 4,000 video watch minutes or whatever it is you need.
Exactly.
So, in terms of Premier League restart, personally, I do still think it should have been null and voided.
Well, there is an argument for that, I think, in that if people can't go out and live their lives as normal, then why should these footballers be going out and playing football and being in close contact with each other and playing contact sport?
For any other workplace, it has to be, you have to at least provide the chance to be 2 meters or 1 meter away, depending where you work. So that's my argument, is I can't go and, if I'm going back to work, I can't go and high five somebody, but these players can just go and absolutely slide tackle somebody off the floor.
But there is also the thing that they are all being tested. So I don't know what the stats are, but it's a tiny proportion of the people that are being tested in the Premier League have been found positive, and then they're isolated straight away.
I think it was Spurs, wasn't it, in the week that had somebody tested positive? I want to say it was Spurs. Fulham have had 2.
Yeah, obviously with the money they can afford to isolate at home, whereas normal people can't. And it is a case of the money talks, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, it could have gone. I mean, you'd think they'd have used the money to help. Because obviously, all football teams have got, for example, Derby County got Derby County in the community. So that money that they're paid, if it did go null and void, surely that money could have gone towards testing where the team's based, and it'd be better off for the public. And then, because the problem is, fans aren't allowed to go back at all. Whereas if we got the cure quicker and they provided their money, they could have brought arguably more revenue in when the fan base comes back.
I think if you think there's kind of 2 revenue streams in football, isn't there? Especially in the Premier League, you've got kind of the money from the games and people coming into the stadiums.
It TV revenue pays more than season tickets and tickets?
Exactly, it's billions of pounds. So what would the broadcasters have turned around and said if they null and voided the season? They're going to ask for a refund, aren't they?
To be fair, I can't imagine they've made an absolute ton of money, because if you look at the fixtures that have been released, how many are actually on Sky TV and BT Sports? It's near enough. It's like 90% of the games, isn't it?
They're all being televised, aren't they? All of them, whether they're free to air or
BBC have only got 4. They've only got 4 Premier League games, but I think it's the first time since like the 1990s. Since
they've never
Premier League games been broadcasted on BBC.
Never had one, since the Premier League formed. They've only had the highlights, like Match of the Day.
No, I think they have had one before. I saw Match of the Day tweet it saying it's the first time since 1994 or something ridiculous like that, since they've actually broadcasted a Premier League game live. So in that retrospect, they will be earning a lot of money from that. But obviously, they've got to pay a lot of season tickets, and people have bought tickets off.
Yeah,
So I have seen that Newcastle, they're not doing it at all. They've not released a statement. They've not released anything to how if fans are going to get the money back, if they're going to get money back for next season or not. They've
yeah.
not
I saw
released
something about they're still
anything.
taking the direct debits and things like that, aren't they? But I mean, there's a massive thing with their takeover going on. So,
Well, in a way, I agree with taking direct debits for next season because nothing's been confirmed as of yet to what it's going to be, whether it's going to be behind closed doors or whether it's going to be actual fans in the stadium. So I kind of agree in that way, because at the same time, the clubs have got to earn the money. Because especially for your lower league, especially for clubs that are out of the Championship, out of the Premier League, who rely on those season tickets each month, every season, it's important. They can't just be like, right, we're going to give you all the money back now, because we might not be able to do that now.
That's the thing, isn't it? The lower you go down, the more important the money is. But the less chance you've got of a return of football, just because of the health situation.
True. Right, so if we look at the opening week of games, you can't really say weekend because I think there's only like 2 days a week where there's not actually Premier League football.
There's the first two games in the midweek, aren't they? Because they're the games in hand that were.
Yeah, it goes. It's Aston Villa, Sheffield United, which I think will be an absolute corker of a game. And you've got Man City, Arsenal. But I think Man City are going to come back and walk the park. Like, I think Liverpool are going to struggle when they come back.
It's kind of a reset, isn't it?
They've kind of had pre-season, haven't they? Yeah.
It was mid-March, so we're saying in mid-June, so April, May, June, 3 months almost of just doing, just little training sessions, I guess.
They are. I mean, they did release that they can train between clubs in their local, play friendlies with clubs in their local area. I don't know if you saw that.
I've seen.
I think West Brom had a game. I think West Brom had a game with Birmingham City or something the other day behind closed doors.
Yeah,
I saw reports on it.
In between their squad, so they just halved the squad and played against.
Yeah, Chelsea did that yesterday. So that's on the 6th of the 6th. They went to Stamford Bridge and they played a game on Stamford Bridge.
Yeah,
it was half their team versus the other half. So on Mason Mount's Instagram. But I don't think it was on Twitter or anything. I don't think many people knew it was actually happening.
It's really interesting that how quick they've kind of got into it. I mean,
what baffles me is how quick it's returning to kind of normal life. Yet nothing's actually changed. It's the first day it crossed into our borders.
Yeah, it's very weird,
that's the weird thing. It's not like there's a vaccine or anything, but yet life returning to exactly the same as what it was, especially the Premier League. The only thing different is there's going to be no fans in the actual stadium.
I saw something about they're supposed to be playing through the loudspeakers, like fans.
I kind of agree with that. I don't
though, isn't it?
I don't agree with. It is a bit weird. I can imagine it. The only thing is, I know the home team get a massive advantage as it is anyway. But can you really see a team putting away chants on through the speakers? I just think I think it's a good idea, but I think it is a massive disadvantage to the away team.
It's just so strange in an empty stadium and then all of a sudden you get a cheer.
I think the best thing they could do is to raise some money as well. Is you can pay to have I think it's Borussia Mönchengladbach. You could pay to have a cardboard cutout put on your seat, and it looked like the stadium was full. And if we're editing it, I'll put a picture up here now so you can all see it. But it's absolutely phenomenal. And I think they should do that.
And use sex dolls.
Okay, that's monetization gone. straight away. That's it. That's game over.
Would you really pay for your mug to be in a cardboard cutout in Pride?
If it was, I wouldn't pay more than 15 quid. Let's just say that.
15 quid.
I'd pay 15 quid. I'd want that for the season. Like I'd want that for the remainder of the season. Not at 15 quid a time.
Why? What
I
does
don't
it
know,
achieve?
just to help the players a bit, isn't it? Like, I just
What
would.
pose would you be doing if you could do a pose?
Nah,
So
it'll
like,
just be like the Sky Sports one or the Sam Allardyce one where he's in the chip shop, he's got his arms crossed.
you would do like a lightning bolt or kind of just with your arms
Nah,
up cheering.
I don't know, but based off the actual the thing of I can't get my bloody words out now. Having the voices through the thing, I can't see that being fair on the away team because you can't see, for example, Sheffield United this week on Wednesday the 17th. Sheffield United probably arguably the loudest fans in the Premier League because they were phenomenal in the Championship. But I had Sheffield United away and I've had them obviously at home.
It is a proper old school ground, isn't it?
They are a phenomenal fan base. I mean, phenomenal. The noise that they generate at home, and when I went to the game away and we got beat 3-2, and the roar when they scored, it was unbelievable. So I can't see Aston Villa, a team who are probably going to get relegated, play any noise whatsoever for Sheffield United if they score.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, I don't agree that's fair on Sheffield United because they're a team, for me, I think they rely on their backing from their fan base. Because if you look at their team, not really great, is it? But somehow, what are they? The seventh in the Premier League. They're above Tottenham and Arsenal with a game in hand.
And you've got the thing about with the Champions League and is it Man City's kind of all their goings on with their transfers and things like that, where there could actually be an extra place for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
if Sheffield United win, they go fifth, a point behind fourth.
Yeah.
Which is mad. So they're a point behind Chelsea in
newly
fourth.
Promoted side.
they got promoted. It was this season? Was it this season? Yeah. It was this season, wasn't it? Which is amazing to think. Chris Wilder's done an absolute outstanding job.
Well, he's been there since League One.
League One, yeah. He was in the Championship for 2 years. And I think he still finished just outside the playoffs in his first season. So that's nearly back-to-back promotions. I don't think that's been done since Southampton.
And you get all these clubs sacking managers left, right, and centre, and it just shows if you back him. And but
the thing is that the argument of that is, I mean, look at Arsenal. They backed Wenger for arguably too long, and then they got Emery.
They weren't exactly doing badly, were they? I mean, in an Arsenal fan's eyes, probably.
I mean, yeah,
in the same place every year, but you can't really complain with that, can you?
True.
But I mean, you get kind of with Sheffield United, they've not got the best off-field kind of things going on with their owners and things like that in the courts. But the club has had a kind of a stable running, I guess, and they've stuck with the manager for years. He knows what he's doing. They've obviously got their recruitment right, and look where they are.
But yeah, if you look at their team's just ridiculous. Like they got. For some reason, it's got Jack Rodwell in their team when he plays for Sunderland, so I'm not sure why that's there. But I mean, you've got the likes of Ben Osborne. I mean, he was at Forest last year. Like, David McGoldrick isn't a Premier League striker.
No.
Like, John Fleck, he's not a Premier League midfielder, but they're just absolutely smashing it. And I feel sorry for Billy Shark. He's not got that many minutes this year, and he was vital for them being promoted.
The thing is,
and he scored against Bournemouth in the last few minutes, didn't he, to get the equaliser in the first game of the season? I remember that.
Yeah, it just shows what playing without kind of any expectations on the players or the team. I mean, there's no way you would have asked a Sheffield United fan at the end of last season when they go promoted, where do you think you'll be? And they would have said, oh, just knocking on the doors of European places.
I know. It's crazy. But if we go back to the Premier League restarting, has anything been confirmed about where fixtures are going to be played?
Well, I think from what I've seen is that they will play them kind of home and away games at the ground.
But for me, what's going to be the biggest struggle is local derbies.
Well, the thing is, there's two kind of caveats with that, like you mentioned. local derbies where the police come in and say, well, basically, we can't enforce fans kind of congregating around the grounds and mixing.
Yeah,
due to
there's no
social
law, is
distancing.
there? As long as there's social distance and not in more groups of 6
But
at the minute,
but what the police have said
there's nothing they
is
can say.
what they've said is the police have the authority to say we don't want that game to take place here, and it will take place at a neutral ground.
See, I think it being taken place at neutral, it's a weird one because let's say Arsenal and Chelsea, for example. No, we'll say Arsenal, Tottenham, probably one of or Man U, Man City. Well, yeah, we'll go Man U, Man City, probably the biggest derby in the Premier League. Who played the home match first? I can't remember who. See if I can find. So, well, to be fair, they've played quite a few.
Well,
Haven't
Man
they,
U
this
playing at
season?
Old Trafford is a neutral ground anyway, isn't it?
It was Man City, so Man City played at home first. So it doesn't really work out for this one because they lost 2-1 at home. So I can't really use my point with that one. So if I move over to Tottenham Arsenal, let's see if I can find who was at home first between Tottenham and Arsenal.
I don't understand this argument of why like fans would congregate outside the ground.
But I can say,
what's the point?
but you say that there's no point in it, but you can 100% see it happening.
Yeah, but what they're looking at, it's not as if they're going to put a big screen up.
Well, it's just to show you support, isn't it? But I can imagine there will be people then. There'll be people that want to fight. That's just how football is. But Arsenal Tottenham, for example, if Arsenal Tottenham got played in a neutral venue, Arsenal have already drawn 2-2 away at home. So Spurs will be thinking, yes, we've got 2-2 away at Arsenal. That's a great result. We're away, local derby, and we've got a draw.
Spurs will probably be happy to play at neutral ground because they're not done too well at the new stadium, have they?
I know, but they'd still want to play on their home turf, wouldn't they? It gives you a better advantage of getting that win over your rivals. If you're playing at your local ground all season long, but then you can't play against Arsenal at home, like it kind of gives you, it's not really fair. It gives you the whole idea of home and away is you're meant to be better at home than you are away. If you move that local derby to a neutral ground, that's giving it away from Tottenham straight away, for example. Whereas Arsenal have already had that opportunity to play at home.
Yeah.
Where they've had the backing. And also, they've had the backing of their own fans, which they're not going to get now, are they? Because it's going to be behind closed doors.
And if you look at Spurs in their new stadium, they've got that massive stand at one end with one tier going all the way up, likened to the yellow wall at Dortmund. And if that's
that is one stadium I really want to go to in England.
If that's all empty, that has the kind of the opposite effect, doesn't it? You look at that full of fans and you think, yeah, I'm ready for this game, I'm up for this. And you look at it all empty and you go, oh God.
It'll really show what players are introverted and what players are extroverted.
Oh yeah, you see it, don't you?
For people that don't know what that is, introvert is somebody who thrives under not really any pressure. They like to keep themselves to themselves. So I'd say a typical introverted player would be N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, doesn't care about the outside.
Yeah, your extroverted player is Ronaldo, who thrives off the big occasion. Yeah. Who takes his top off when he scores. N'Golo Kante thinks of it as his job. He's going to work. Whereas Ronaldo uses his as a showboating technique type thing. But it's really interesting to see what players will thrive more under no fans being there, and what players will decrease with no fans being there because they've not got the excitement of hearing their name being chanted from the stands.
Well, if you go to a normal game before COVID and everything, you can see it, the kind of the sense of the crowd and in the ground does affect the game, and it can affect the players.
Yeah, well, you can't say there's no similarities. I mean, look at the clubs that were in the Premier League who have lost their fan base now, like Sunderland, who had a massive, a decent fan base in the Premier League. Now it's deteriorated because they had an awful season. Look where they are; they've gone down to League One.
Yeah.
You can say the same about Bolton. When Bolton in the Premier League, they were bringing in fans, but look where they are now. Fans have gone, and you can't say that fans don't have an effect on how your team performs.
it's going to be very interesting to see just how the form, when you compare it pre all this happening and after the restart, just
But
see
another thing is, I bet the players are happy about it because they're not going to get booed anymore. As a football fan, I'll boo at the referee, but I'll never boo
that's a given,
towards.
isn't it?
I'll never boo towards my own team because what does booing accomplish? If anything, I think that's going to make them play worse if you're booing your team.
Yeah, I mean,
And I can't see
it's a
them putting
difficult one.
boos out on the tannoy if they're getting battered 3-0 at half
They're playing
time.
devil's. There is that thing though, isn't there? There's if an ordinary fan goes to a game and they're paying £15-20, I think they're entitled to boo if they don't like what they're seeing.
I just, for me,
And they
I'm
can't
just
boo
not
for
a,
a TV, can they?
I'm just not a fan of booing. Booing isn't backing your team. If you send your team down booing at half time rather than cheering them on, if you cheer them on, it's going to have much more of a positive impact than you absolutely slating them as they go down the tunnel.
I don't know. We did quite a lot of booing at Notts.
Well, to be fair, I bet they can't even hear you from the stands. Notts County.
That's true. But anyway, back to the restart. There is also, I think, an issue with kind of the integrity of the game. So we've already seen, like, Troy Deeney, for example, is quite a high-profile name that's come out kind of against us.
Kante isn't going back either. I don't know if you've seen that, but he's actually got a heart condition, I believe. And he's not going back. And I don't agree with people saying dock the wages. They're under contract to play football. I don't agree with that.
Well,
It's just the same as just because the footballers, the public are expecting them to play.
yeah, there are protections in laws, but they're just an employee like anybody else. If they don't think that the workplace is safe, they can raise those concerns, and they don't have to.
I can just imagine half the people are on the keyboards tweeting, "Oh, this is a disgrace. He should be back playing football." They're 100% saying, "Nah, I can't come back to work. I've got a tickle in my throat." Like, I can 100% say about 80% of the same people.
Yeah.
Just because it's football and they demand to have football back, they shouldn't be treated any different.
No, but there is.
That's why I first started the null and void thing because it's just a normal job.
There is the issue though with the integrity of the competition. If you've got these players missing from squads, then they wouldn't have been missing before earlier in the season in October, November. So is it a fair competition?
Well, yeah, but you can say that about injury though at the same time, can't you?
Injury is a given. Injury is a given, isn't it? But if you're choosing yourself not to be part of that team, part of that squad, and what happens if suddenly there's an outbreak? I don't know, in Birmingham or something, and that then Aston Villa kind of 5-10 of their players test positive.
True. But there are people also using this as an excuse not to go back and play for the club. Is it that Niall Taylor from Charlton? I think that's his name. He's said he's not coming back because he's at fear of his knee injury. But he's obviously still being paid his full contract because he's not shielding. He's saying he's not coming back due to injury, but he's not actually injured. He's fully fit.
And that's the thing. Doctors can't really go and check. But it's just an unprecedented time, isn't it? It's probably a once in a generation event, probably even more than that, and it might not even happen ever again. So it is just make it up as you go along kind of thing, isn't it?